Target shoppers on edge this evening. At least 40 million credit and debit cards at risk after a data breach, and it couldn't come at a worse time, right at the heart of the holiday shopping season. Joining me right now, Mark Lanterman, CEO of Computer Forensic Services, an expert in cybersecurity. Mark, welcome.
Thank you.
In high demand today, so I'm glad I got you.
Thank you.
First question, a lot of people out there are asking, should I shop at Target now? I've heard about this time span, but what about now?
You know, I would not hesitate to shop at Target today. The fact of the matter is Target has internal resources that address this situation very quickly, likely much more quickly than any other vendor could have.
All right. Next question is, who did this? And I know you can't answer specifically, but the type of entity that would do this. And while we're talking about this, I want to direct our viewers to the big screen behind us because there's a lot going on there. What looks like gobbledygook to us is gold to the hackers, correct?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to have you explain what people are seeing here.
Certainly. Well, what this information is, this is known as track data. This is the information that's stored on the magnetic stripe on the back of a credit card. This is what the bad guys were after. And what this information contains is the account number, so your credit card number, the name of the consumer.
So we can see a name on the top, and then down here below it is the information you're referencing.
Exactly. And then the expiration date, which in this case would be...
These are fake, by the way.
These are fake, but this is what it looks like. The expiration date, this is just validation information. Now, so the top entry, this is a credit card. This next entry, this is actually a debit card. And the reason we know that is because for whatever reason, the card issuer included the debit card's PIN number on the magnetic stripe. So that's what I would be more concerned about, would be this information being used to withdraw money from ATM.
And so this, they have the technology, they have the means to be able to gather this on what we now know is millions of cards and in effect millions of people.
Correct.
All right. So what type of entity, individual would do this, is after this kind of information?
You know, any type of criminal that wants money would be after this kind of...
Now, are they going to take that information, Mark, and create new credit cards that they can then use, or are they actually going to use your numbers and your identity?
They would likely, in this case, they would likely try to take this information, generate new credit cards, but because track data does not contain that 3 or 4 digit security code, they could only use this to purchase at a unattended, like a non-cashier, gas, groceries. All
right, let's see what Target has to say about this. Their president and CEO released a statement saying what we would expect them to say. First priority is the trust of our guests. They're working with law enforcement. They regret any inconvenience. What is Target, Mark, doing behind the scenes right now?
Well, I would imagine that they are trying to identify the source of the breach. This breach may not have occurred within Target's 4 walls. It may have occurred at the credit card processing vendor. So I believe that Target right now is trying to identify the source of the breach and then more importantly, how to prevent fraud from occurring.
So let's take it back home to our viewers because they're sitting there wondering, what can I do in the future to avoid this sort of thing? If you're a victim, if you're concerned about being a victim, is there anything short of using cash that we can do as consumers, Mark, to keep this from happening?
Well, I think that as a consumer, you should be proactive and take control of your own security. If you have used a card at a Target store, call the bank, request a new card.
All right. Mark Lanterman, CEO of Computer Forensic Services, an expert in cybersecurity. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And good luck to all of you out there.